besties, it's Bella and welcome to Bella's World. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back and getting into the second video. So as I said in my first video that I'll be doing a 3-part story time where I talk about my journey to being a chartered accountant. So the first part of the story is my UCT story, the undergraduate journey. So I'm going to take you through that. If you're watching this video, hopefully you've watched my first video, but if you haven't, I'll put the link in the subscription box so you can watch my first video. So as I said before, I'm going to do a 3-part story. So this would be the first part of the story. So this is my UCT story, the undergraduate journey. It was a hectic time in my life, so the story is very deep. I have my tissues here on the side. If a girl cries, I'm ready because it was hectic. And if I forget anything, I have my phone. I'll take out my phone and look at my notes. But yeah, so let me go back to the beginning. In grade 11, I started applying for universities. So I applied at the University of Cape Town and I applied at the University of Stellenbosch. I also wanted to apply in other provinces, but that was application fees, so I had to prioritize. And they talking about going to another city where I don't know anyone. I'm a broke kid. If anything happens, it's gonna be a problem. Also, I really wanted to go to the University of Cape Town, best university in Africa at some point. So I was like, you know what? It's in my city. I'm right here. I can go home at any time. This is actually the best possible solution. So I applied at UCT and Stellenbosch, and then I got into both. And so for UCT, you go through those NBT exams, those tests. Then you get in. I think if you pass that, and obviously there's those requirements. And then with Stellenbosch, I also had to write an access test. And this access test, you have to write it in Afrikaans, like clean Afrikaans. So back at that time, I was in first year in 2012. So back at that time, accounting classes were still being lectured in strictly Afrikaans. I think the year after, that's when they started having classes in English. So Benzo Funda accounting Afrikaans, but Afrikaans was so good, obviously passed the access test. And I obviously also passed the NBT exams. And then with UCT, they had like different categories that you can get in on. So there was the open category that was based on obviously your marks and scores. And then there was other categories for previously disadvantaged people. And then they would lower the percentages. So there was this debate in matric. I told you guys in the first video that I was always in the first class at school. So at that time I was in 12-1. So other people in my class, other people that are not people of color in my class were complaining about the other categories that UCT had for previously disadvantaged people, blah blah blah. They were complaining and they were like, well, you guys are not previously disadvantaged, but now it will be unfair because now you guys will get in through that category and stuff like that. And we were debating in class. I think we were only like, in our class we were only like 5 black students in that class. So they were really like, you know, against us. Anyway, so we told them that look, this category is not targeted at people like us. It's targeted at people who don't have these opportunities that we have. So it's not even about that, like, why are you fighting us? Obviously, Tina, we will get in the open category. Like, I'm in top 10 with you, bro. Like, why are you fighting me? Like, why are you fighting me? Like, why are you fighting me? You're fighting the purpose of allowing other people who are as smart as us, but they just didn't have the same opportunities that we have, but they have the potential, so just give them the chance. That's all this is about. But obviously I got in the open category. Yeah, either way, so the fight was like futile at that point. But anyway, so I got in. Also in grade 11 and 12 I was applying for bursaries like left, right and center because I'm a broke kid, like my parents don't have money, so I knew, but I need to like make sure my marks are on point so that I can get a bursary to get into university, because that was my plan to, you know, get out of poverty and live this luxurious life that I want. Is I need to, you know, focus on the books and, you know, get the funding. So I applied to anything that had accounting bursaries. I'll go to the internet cafe at that time, and then I'll just Google like bursaries and stuff. I was even on like a mailing list from some site where they update the list of bursaries that have been offered. I'll get that email to me, then I'll apply. I'll even ask like my cousins or my aunt if they could just print applications for me and all of that. So yeah. So in high school there was also this bursary that was being offered. I think it was an external company, but they approached the school. So one of my teachers actually recommended me. So I went for an interview, but I didn't get that one. And then I also went for an interview with another firm. I'm not going to mention the name, but it's a Big Four firm, auditing firm. So I went for that interview. I think the interview went well, and before you even get the interview I had to write a motivational letter. So you write the motivational letter, you say why you want to do this, where do you come from, you tell your story, like, listen, I really need this funding, blah blah blah. So I had to send the motivational letter. I got the interview went well. Then I had another friend that I was studying with in high school. We were also in the same class in 12-1. So I told him, he also wanted to study to be a chartered accountant as well, and he actually told me like years later that the reason he decided to be a chartered accountant, he didn't even know about that stuff. He learned about that stuff through me, and I was like, oh hectic, I didn't even know I was the person that introduced you to all of this. Yeah, so another way that I've seen that me just living my life and having these big dreams and sharing them with people actually activate and inspire people to also, you know, go about their dreams as well. So so I tell him, so I was like, I went for this interview for this bursary, and then I said he should also apply too, maybe, you know, he can also get in. So he applied, and then he also got an interview, and then he went, and then what happened is that he got the bursary and I didn't. That's what happened. So he actually obviously found out before me that he got it, and then he was obviously waiting for me also to tell him that then I got it as well. But then he realized that if I had gotten it, I would have known the same time that he would have known. Then he realized, hectic, she didn't get it. So I eventually got the news that I didn't get it, and then I told him, and then that's when he told me that, oh, he actually got it, but he was just waiting, you know, for me to actually get the news. So I found out he got it, and he told me that he wasn't sure. So I asked him, like, why didn't you tell me when you got it? And he was like, he didn't want to hurt my feelings, blah blah blah. And then I told him, I was like, why would you think that would hurt my feelings? I would be happy for you that you got it. Obviously you did well. So he actually told me like in December that stuck with him like all these years, that I wasn't mad at him, I was happy for him. I was actually disappointed that he didn't think I would have been happy for him, the fact that he didn't tell me. Yeah. So I told my family was not happy, so they were like, why did you tell him? It's your fault. Blah 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 blah. So it was like a whole mess at that point, but I was determined. I was like, you know what, I got in the university of my dreams, I got into UCT, I'm going by fire by force into Zofunda. I'm gonna make a plan. And one thing about me, I make a plan. It doesn't matter what odds are against me, but if I want something, I'll go for it. So what I did, I went to orientation. So when I went to orientation, I actually didn't have any funding, and we had to pay a deposit of like 16K to register. So that was basically a bit of your tuition and a bit of registration fees. And if you were staying at res, it would be more so like a deposit for your res and your accommodation and food and all that. So I had to raise 16K like ASAP basically to get in. So I applied for an NSFAS loan late. I went to the financial aid office at UCT, told them my story. I was like, listen, please help me. I need funding. I got it, I just need funding. So I applied. And then I begged my parents, I was like, I just need imali registration bandingene. Like, I asked them to do like a student loan thing. So they did. And then what happened is, this all happened in the space of like a week and a half. So I got the NSFAS funding, and then I also like motivated to stay at res, because at home it was a lot of people staying in one house. I didn't have my own space, so I wasn't going to be able to study. So I put that in a letter of motivation. I told them, listen, even though I live close to campus, like Langa and UCT is not far. I live close to campus, but I can't be at home. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So I motivated and I got into res as well. And then that week, I also, before that, the student loan money came in. So the student loan money came in, I paid that 16K deposit. Then NSFAS came through, moved to res. Then the same week, my ex-employer, they called me and they asked me to send them my proof of registration and that they were giving me a bursary. So all of this happened in the space of a week and a half. Meanwhile, I went to orientation with no money, but I was like, this is all funda apa. I'm going to go by 5 by force, so I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna pull all these stunts. And then money came in through 3 different angles. So first it was the student loan, then I paid my deposit for the registration. I registered, then NSFAS pulled through, moved into res. Then I already started lectures. I think I was actually in a lecture, and then I went out, and then I was literally offered a bursary. So what happens is that at the financial aid office, they would obviously now cancel the NSFAS funding, and then the bursary would take over. And then because I had already paid my deposit, UCT owed me money, babes. They owed me money. I had to go apply for a refund because imali I from all angles and it had to be returned, but still I'd overpaid. So because my bursary covered the tuition and res and gave me like some money for textbooks and stuff, all of that. So I was like overpaid because I already paid my deposit. So UCT owed me, I think I had like 2 refunds that year. I was like bawling, but I needed the money because I was a broke girl. So now I'm going to university. I need to actually wear clothes every day. I call uniform. Like it's civvies every day, child. So I was like, I don't have clothes. I don't have clothes. So I brought a whole new wardrobe. Bought linen for my res room. Like I had a whole new life. So I needed like the funds to like fund this journey. So luckily, because I got these refunds, there was money for everything basically. So even though I lost out on that bursary opportunity, but I manifested an even better one. So so that was my first year. I think in first year, starting at UCT was a big like culture shock because I was a broke girl. Even in my friends' circles, I always felt like insecure because I was like, yo, I'm the brokest one here. But then I was like, you know what? One day is one day. I just need to work hard. But at UCT, it's a lot. It's a lot. Like, people are like rich. Kids, they are rich. So like my poverty complex, I just like got deeper. It got deeper because everyone is walking around like I'm in a lecture. I have like my notepad out. People have like their MacBooks out, their iPads out. Like it was just good to UCT, but a MacBook's a student card because it's everywhere. It's a student card basically because everyone has it. Also people wearing like designer clothes and stuff like that, and I was just like shook at everything. So I'm also like judging everything that I'm wearing. I'm like, oh, these people probably think I had so much insecurities and anxiety. Yeah, it was a hectic, a bit culture shock. In first year, I think I did well, but I went through a lot because academically, it was a lot. I think UCT like breaks you. Because we get there, we're like, oh, we the smartest kids in the country to get in, basically. So we're like, okay, this is our thing, top 10, like, good marks. So I figure I was like, Chona. And we're like, yo, you became humble. Like, you doubt your own intelligence. You're like, am I not smart? Like, what's going on? So in first year, I failed maths. Yo, maths was killing me. I failed maths, but it was a semester course. So I did it in the second semester and then I passed. So then I was clean and went into second year. Second year, that's when things became a little bit shaky. My mental health took like a knock with everything that was going on, whole life change and everything. And obviously varsity comes with its own challenges. And boys were also a big culture shock for me. Boys gave me stress. Boys gave me stress, and I was not used to boys. Like in high school, like I was like strict nerd. I just had like crushes on people, like cheer from afar, nothing hectic. Because you know what they say, books before boys, because boys bring babies. Like I stuck to that. Like I was the girl like focus on the books because screw these boys. But then in varsity, I was like, hey, I think I want to dabble with boys. I'm keen for boys. So like I came out of my shell and I did some things, yeah, that co-op basically, that co-op. So second year mental health took a knock, but at that time I didn't know it was my mental health at that time because there was not a lot of like mental health awareness and stuff. But like, yeah, I was going through it, but I didn't know what I was going through. Then my academics took like sort of a knock, and then I decided, well, no, man, let me extend. So I was doing the 3-year program, so I extended to the 4-year program. And then I did one of my modules. Instead of us making it a semester course, it was a whole year course where they take you through it. So I was like, okay, cool. Because I wanted to stay on track. I didn't want to get excluded. One thing about UCT, well, yeah, Jonah, they exclude you. Like, Mati, you can't hang with us. Please leave because you're Jonah. So I was like, I can't get excluded. Then we just extend this thing and take it a bit slower because I'm struggling right now. So I need to stay on track to fulfill the dream. So I was like, okay, cool. Then my friend who had gotten the bursary, he was also going through some stuff as well. And then, so we were also like in the same boat basically, but then his bursary dropped him basically. So they were like, your scores are not high enough anymore. You're not giving us the averages that we need, so we're gonna drop you. So they literally dropped him. So I think then he got NSFAS funding. So when that happened, I was like, damn, because if I had gotten it, they would have, dropped me too. I was thinking like it was a blessing in disguise that they dropped me first. And then now I got the bursary and I'm working with people that are still, even though I'm going through things, they still believe in me and still funding me. Yeah. So third year is when everything went down, was bad. I think it was it third year? No, because my program was extended, my third year would be my 4th year, right? So I think that's when everything went down. Yeah, I think it was my 3rd year. Yeah. So my mental health took an all-time knock, like when to go, like I was going through it. Like I had several suicidal thoughts. I went off on a funda. Like I would just stay in my room. I think at that time I was staying at OBS. Then I was staying at OBS Square. There was times I would just lay in my room like in the dark, and I would just be like, just going through it, man. Going through it, and I don't know why. Yeah. So that journal again, like I failed like hardcore. That journal, like I think I was doing 5 modules at the time, and I only passed 1 out of 5. So because at UCT, well, yeah, Jonah, they exclude you. So I got excluded. I got academically excluded. And then I was like, oh, hectic. Hectic. But I didn't give up on the dream. So the first time you get excluded, you can actually appeal. So I wrote a letter, as this hectic person I am, I never give up. Wrote a letter to explain my case, went through the whole appeal process. I was accepted, and then I went back in to do those 4 modules. So I redid those modules, and then again I passed 3, and then I failed 1. So now I literally had 1 module between me and graduating, and that also kind of like depressed me, because I was like so close yet so far. But then I'm just like, okay, it's just 1 module, fine. But then you're only like, with this module, it's a 2nd semester course, so the first 6 months of the year I had to actually go home, right? So going home was actually like very tough, because yeah, it was tension managing. It was very hectic, and it felt like they didn't want me to be home for some reason. It's like my own family didn't want me to be around. It was just very weird. So I spent a lot of my time at my friends' houses. So one of my friends, I'll literally just be sleeping over there for like a week or whatever, because at home it was tense. And yeah, so I went through that tense period, and then I went back to UCT. I got into res again, just for that 6 months, so that I can do the module. So bear in mind, I'm doing 1 module. It's 6 months, just 1 module. That's all I'm doing. The ends again, everything is fine. I don't remember about the test, and if I was on track with passing tests or not, but whatever. The ballet exam, the journey again, and I'm like like I can't anymore. The journey, and then I'm like, no, I have a problem. Like there's something wrong. Like I only had 1 module. Like this doesn't make sense. First, I try and get a remark, because I'm like, no, it's a scam. There's no way. And then I got the remark. I got my paper back, and I saw no, Johnny, like for real. I'm like, yo. So at that point, like I was just like, nah. I'm literally gonna kill myself. I can't. Like I was just like, the embarrassment, the shock, the trauma also of just failing and then repeating. It was just a lot, and I was just like, just 1 module. That's what I was doing. So that time, I called my best friend. I was like, listen, I'm going through it. I need like professional help. I need actual professional help. Like what do I do? And then she spoke to her mom, and then they said I should just go to the nearest hospital and explain like what I'm going through and see what help I can get. So I go to the nearest hospital, they check me out, and I tell them how I was feeling. I was feeling very anxious, like super depressed, suicidal, everything at that point. And I was like, yo, I'm going to die if I don't get help. So they told me that I should go to the nearest clinic. And then when I got there, I got like a basic consultation. Then I saw a psychologist, and then I told her what I was feeling, what I was going through. And then she said that it sounds like I'm dealing with anxiety and depression. And then she said that I need to go for counseling, but they'll put me on a low dosage for now to see how it works. And then I also need to go for therapy. So then I started going for therapy. So this is the time when I'm prepping now to write the SAP. So even though I failed, at least I was able to write a SAP. So during that time, I'm on these meds. They say it takes like a month for the meds to kick in. So I'm taking these antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication. And then I'm also going to therapy regularly. So I'm talking about everything, telling my therapist, going like weekly, blah blah blah. I'm also prepping for exams. Then the day of the SAP comes, I write my SAP, then I wait for results. I get the results. Turns out that I got the highest out of the people that wrote the SAP. Da pasa, da creta. So when that happened, I realized, no, the reason I was failing this whole time was my mental health. Because once I sorted that out, I came back to who I really am, a genius. So I was like, okay, so all this time, clearly I've been suffering from anxiety and depression, blah, 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 and I didn't know, hence all these things were happening. So then I realized, okay, I need to make sure I take care of my mental health, right? So yeah, finally, to play again with UCT, but then girl, it's obviously broke. So now it's like grad season. Like now, I was just so happy to graduate that I didn't even think I was gonna attain my grad, because I was like, stress, I would want to look good, blah blah blah. So I was just like, you know what? I'm grateful that I'm actually out of this place. It's fine, even if I don't go, it's fine. But then the way my life is set up and the amazing friends that I have, I think I posted something, and then complaining about money, talking about money, about a dress, or saying like, yo, I wish I could go to my grad, but I don't have funds, blah blah blah. And then one of my friends I used to go to high school with, she's in Zambia now, so she texted me. She's like, I'm so proud of you for the journey. I know I was at UCT with her as well. Then she left. She went back to Zambia. So she knows the journey because she was with me for a great part of that journey. So she was telling me how proud she is of me, and then she said, listen, I want to contribute to your dress for your grad. And I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. So she sent me money from Zambia. She sent me money. She sent me like 1,000 rand for a dress. And I was like, this is perfect. So I tell my best friend, I was like, yo, I'm so shook because I'm so happy because like I was like, shit, okay, now it looks like I'm going to my grad. At least I have money for a dress, so I'm halfway there. I can go. So I tell my bestie, I was like, oh my god, Ubanba and said she's gonna give me money for a dress, blah blah blah. And then my bestie was like, hold up, what else do you need? I was like, what? She's like, give me your budget, what do you need? I'll send it. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, great, basically. So that's how it happened. Took out money for a dress, and then I told my bestie this is what I need, and she sent me money. She was overseas, so I got a wig, I got shoes obviously, and then I also gave money. So besties, when all of this was happening, I was just like, wow, I'm graduating. And I was worried, you know what, I don't even have the funds. I really wanted like to have like a full glam grad, like I could see it in my head, but I didn't have the funds, and I kind of like got over it. But the universe works in mysterious ways. I'm blessed, and the people around me just brought the funds together. Just like when I went to UCT with zero funding, attended orientation, the universe conspired and funding came from all angles. So basically the same thing was basically happening. And then during that time of me planning, okay, my grad and all that, being excited and knowing that I'm graduating, so during that time I had a dream that I met my fave, Nomzamo Mbatha. I dreamt that I met her in like a trailer dressing room type room, and I saw her and I gave her a hug. Like it was very like vivid and clear dream. And I'm someone that has lots of like psychic dreams, like Dingo Raven, but we're dreams. Like I'll see it in a dream, and then a few weeks later I'm like, I dreamed about this and it's happening. So when that happened, when that dream happened, I was like, surely I'm going to meet this woman because I'd then seen it in my dreams. So 2 weeks later, on her Instagram, she announced that she was going to be doing makeup for all the people that will be graduating on that day, and we were both graduating on the same day. So I obviously signed up because I'm a fan and I love her, and I was inspired by her journey and all of that. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to apply. Even though I had someone that was already going to do my makeup, I was like, this is my opportunity to meet her, so let me just apply. So I applied for that, and then the day before graduation, I was on campus. I was sitting on Jamie steps, and then one of my friends came up to me. She saw me there, and then she's like, you won't believe what just happened. And I was like, what? And then she's like, I just bumped into Nomzamo in the parking lot. I was like, and like, what did you do? And she's like, oh, I got shy and I said nothing. I was like, girl, where is she? I'm gonna find her. Let me go look for her, because I would have said something. So I go down Jamie stairs, and then I see her walking, and she was walking with like a camera guy. Then I see her walking, and then I'm like, yes, this is my chance. So then I'm like, yeah. So I'm like running to her, and I'm like dancing, and then she also starts dancing too, and I'm like, oh snap. And then she walks up to me, and then she's like, she asks where can she get the grad tickets. So I tell her, you go this way, you can get your grad tickets, and then you go this way to get your gowns and all of that. And then she asked me, is it possible to get more tickets? And I was like, they told us no, but I was like, you could possibly get more tickets, so ask when you get there. And then I told her now in person that I signed up for that thing, you know, I want to go. And then she's like, so my friend was also standing there with me, so she's like, you know what, guys, just say you're my cousins and come to the Pepper Club Hotel. So she gave us the location. So when we signed up, you would get the location like on the day on where to go. So she told us location, and she said when we get there, we should just tell them we're going to the penthouse suite on the top floor, and we are Nomzamo's cousins, and we're like, sure. So I got my makeup done. So a friend of mine actually did my makeup, and then I went to the Pepper Club Hotel because I was invited personally by Nomzamo Mbatha, so I'm there. So I go there all dressed up. So my friend and I go there. So she actually had her makeup done there. So when we get there, we don't even need to say anything because the security guards like, "You beautiful woman, we know exactly where you're going. You can proceed." So I'm like, okay, perfect. So we get there, and it was, so then I obviously remember my dream. So in my dream, I met her in a place that looked like a trailer, a dressing room. Ganti, it's literally like in real life, it's the penthouse suite at the Pepper Club Hotel. Everyone's getting their makeup done. She's also sitting there getting her makeup done, literally. So it was even better than in my dream, but like it was like sort of like a psychic dream. So yeah, that is my UCT story. It started rough and crazy, but a lot of miraculous things happened in between, and I finally left, finally graduated and moved on to the next step of my journey. So in the next video, I'll be talking to you guys about my UNISA journey. So the next part of the CASA journey. So thank you for joining me, and make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Bye, besties.
Division.
Focus. Girl, son, all eyes on me. Feeling like